Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the Q&A that was on the 25th, Thursday. I really wish they didn't have them on Thursdays. I'm just not able to really watch the whole thing, then do a video on it before my raid's out, so getting into it the next day here. There was a lot of filler questions, so this one won't be as long as normal. It looks like I'm reading off of something. I take notes during these, so that way I can remember everything that I wanted to say. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started and go through the things that I thought were most important. I cut out a lot of the filler questions, in my opinion, but there were some really good questions in here as well. First thing, release time frame for Cold Tyrann and Zandalari. Basically, just finish the war campaign quests. Get exalted with that faction, so with Tiergard or with whatever the Zandalari faction is. And then when 8.1.5 comes out officially, you'll be able to unlock them that first day. You'll get a quest so you can go unlock them. You don't have to do the raid. So there, after you finish the war campaign quest, you'll get a quest to go in and kill a boss inside the raid. It's probably different whether you're Horde or Alliance, maybe. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that quest as part of it. He did say something interesting here I want to throw in. They initially weren't going to actually make Cold Tyrans because I guess Cold Tyrans are a completely new model. So like the Mag'har orcs are just orcs. The Zandalari trolls are just trolls that are a little different, and the Dark Iron dwarves are just dwarves that are like a little bit bigger in a way, and of course a little bit different color and everything. But so everything else is kind of a modification so far. You know, the Draenei, the elves, everything like that. So the Cold Tyrans are actually a completely new model with a new skeleton. So this is like a big deal. They said this is the first one since the pandas were put in. So I'm definitely looking forward to possibly transferring my druid into a Cold Tyran when this comes out because that would be really cool. Next question was I only put this one in honestly because it was something that the Alliance complained about at the beginning of the expansion about Horde in a way with the Warfront getting the gear first. But why is Alliance offered 400 eye level gear for doing World PvP? So if you don't know this, they put in a catch up thing in a way. I call it a catch up thing to try to balance out War mode in that there's not hardly anybody Alliance in War mode and there's a ton of Horde. So when it's at this disparity, Alliance get 30% extra bonus in War mode instead of 10. And if it gets a little bit closer, then it goes down to 25. If it gets a little bit closer, it goes down to 20. And if it ends up being even, then it's both 10. So that's their way to try to get more Alliance to do War mode. Well, they also put this quest in. And the quest at the end of the last patch was giving 385 gear, so like mythic gear. This is giving heroic gear. They're basically he said they're probably going to rein it back because they don't see the Alliance ever getting close enough really to where this quest isn't going to exist. Because if it was even, if War mode was even, this quest wouldn't exist. And if the Horde somehow had less players, then they would get the quest. But they're thinking about reining it back. I think 400 is fine because even though heroic is like the best you can do right now, it's going to be replaced with mythic and Titan Forge and everything else really soon, anyways. And then whenever a new Warfront comes out, I think it's fine. I do get it though for that very first week having a nice piece. I mean, I got a decent piece off of mine, for example. So I do get the. I have to be fair here to the Horde since I complained about the Warfront thing. It is a little bit dubious. And 385 probably would have still been acceptable for the first couple weeks, and then bump it up to 400, and then maybe eventually bump it up to 415 or whatever. But I definitely see the argument from the Horde here, and so do they. They're gonna rein it back most likely. The next question piggyback that off that Horde complaining about the 30% Alliance get for War mode. And as I kind of already touched on, it's a sliding scale. It's based on the Horde Alliance ratio. It's an attempt to fix it. I want to say just stop complaining to the Horde in this case because you've been able to get a free 10% for the entire expansion so far. And if Alliance ever catch up, we will go down in our thing. I understand you got a free 10%. And now that's not feeling as free because now there are some alliance. I know, when I got that quest, for example, I'm sitting there just slaughtering Horde at a flight path with 20 other alliance, and I realize as a Horde that's not fun. Trust me, I realize it's not fun because it happens to us all the time. So I get it, it's not fun. You're getting a free 10%. Well, the free 10% is gone. That means that it's working. Hopefully Alliance continue doing War mode, can even it out even more. Maybe it's a 15%, maybe it even goes to 10-10 each. I would love to live in a world where the Horde got the advantage because I would like to have more players. Personally, I'd rather have more players than have the extra loot. I want I want to have more players so I can dominate. I mean, that's just how I am. But I'm really passionate about this war mode topic. It's something I really have felt is a failure of the game so far. Next question: server lag in war mode. This was from an alliance player who was enjoying the 30% bonus. Um, this is supposedly their number one priority. I guess some people, and I have experienced this as well, especially like when a world boss is in an area. I think it's just so many people in a shard, or so many people are in the zone, even though they're different sharded. I don't know exactly. I'm not an engineer, but this is supposedly their number one priority. I guess players are having, like, I have it every week or once every couple weeks, but I guess people are having it more often than that. This is a good one. This is a really good one. All character slots on a single realm. So the max characters you can have is 50. If you don't know that, I have 50 characters. They're not all max level by any means. But the most you can have on a realm is only 18, which has been increased over time as they made more classes, more everything, allied races, etc. And he said, there's no reason not to with the sharding stuff. So yeah, they plan on being able to have all 50 of your characters on the same thing, which is really cool. Eventually, I'll just delete characters and keep making them all into my realm. That'll be cool. Um, can you transfer war resources from main to alts like in Legion? Again, this is another question where he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. We should probably put that in. So there's two in a row where the questioners got what they wanted. So we're going to be able to have all your characters on one realm, and they're going to be able to transfer resources with a little bit of inefficiency to your alts. Can we get a system to upgrade gear at the end of a patch instead of Titan forging? So basically what this means is, I think in Miss Pandaria it was like Valor points. You could like slowly upgrade your gear up higher and higher. This is he had a good answer to this, and I don't. I mean, I don't like Titan forging, but I also don't like the idea of upgrading your gear. So, the problem with Valor points makes transitioning from raid tiers awkward. They would have to increase the difficulty even more in the next raid tier. So let's say everybody upgraded their mythic gear to 400 or whatever. So immediately you're just gonna, if everybody, so my guild was just farming mythic for a while, just trying to, because we didn't just save our progression to kill Gahoon as fast as possible. We waited until like a month or two before the end, before we started saving our progress or whatever. So we were just reclaring it over and over again. So we could have had mostly 400 gear, my guild especially, as one who did that. And then, of course, we would have killed Gahoon a lot easier too. But so we would have had full 400 gear. So then we get to the next thing. Well, now you have to make it so heroic is 415 almost. Like you're not solving anything by doing this. Let's see. In the next raid tier, so many people fully gear and didn't one shot everything. Perhaps in the final raid tier they could do this, so you have something to keep working for. So what he meant there was, so at the end of an expansion, there's that longer period. So instead of like 5 months, it's like sometimes 10 months or longer, I think sometimes. So in that case, they're like, well, yeah, there's no reason why maybe you won't be able to upgrade your gear then. So let's say it's like, I'm just making up a number, 475 without doing the math. Let's say you're at like 450 or 475 or something like that. And you can just upgrade your gear from that point, because it doesn't really matter, because when the next expansion hits, you're going to get reset anyways. So then you could possibly have something to continue to work for. Then they piggyback question, a huge power jump between tiers. This is a question that was actually asked during Legion and answered the same way. And 30 is their sweet spot right now. So basically, and I think that's a pretty good sweet spot. So 385 was mythic, and now 415 is mythic. That's 30 item levels. That's where they find is working the best. So that's what they're going to keep with. PvP vendor, please. He had some really silly reasons against it. I mean, I think they could just say we don't want to do PvP vendors, and we'll just keep improving our current system. I think that would be a very valid thing for them to say. But he just gave some silly reasons against it. They did make some changes that are still better. As of right now, I personally would still prefer a PvP vendor, but I'm fine with it. I would just prefer them to be like, hey, we're not doing a PvP vendor. We'll keep fixing our system until it's better. Punish players from leaving a mythic keystone run. I wish, but he says nope, they don't like to punish players in social situations. So, for example, if like someone's like, dude, why are you so bad? And then they say, I'm trying my best, and you're like, no, you suck, and then they leave. They don't want to punish that player for leaving when they were getting bullied, that kind of thing, as an example. Now, there's plenty of times where they should get punished, like when you leave after the first wipe or something. But then he also said there's times where people should leave because the group just isn't good, and that's true too. So I wish there was a way to punish them though, like maybe if everybody like downloads them, and he kind of spoke to this too, maybe having a voting system where you could give people good rep or bad rep, like you can in other games, like you can in League of Legends or Overwatch, whatever. You can give people like accommodations or whatever. Maybe do that in Mythic Plus, so that way if someone's constantly leaving, then they have like a really negative rating, and nobody wants to invite them anyways. Direction of Heart of Azeroth. This is probably the last really good question. Well, there's only two left that I have. Direction of Heart of Azeroth going forward. The Heart of Azeroth will not continue to increase. The heart requirements will not continue to increase after 8.2. So what that means is, so right now you get this new gear. So I have an alt Demon Hunter. I got a 400 item level Azerite piece. And for that, I can't unlock any of the. I can only unlock the first tier of the traits on it. So going forward, that won't be the case. So whatever the max is now, it's probably like 45, 47. I don't even know off the top of my head. Whatever that max is now, that'll be the. As long as you have that, you'll be able to unlock everything going forward. So they don't want to keep. They don't want you to keep being behind. So basically, for that Demon Hunter, for example, if I got full Mythic, like if I started rating on my Demon Hunter, our guild wanted me to rate on my Demon Hunter, and I got this full Mythic gear, I wouldn't be able to use any of it. I'd have to keep using my other gear because I don't have any of the traits on it. So they were going to stop doing that. That's a really good change. And instead, leveling your Heart of Azeroth will unlock things directly on the neck. So basically, talents on your neck. So think of your Legion weapon. You'll be able to shift right-click your neck and put little talents into your necklace as well. Some of them being actual abilities as well that you can use. So that's kind of cool. They realized that the Legion system was better, basically, is what he admitted to, and that they're kind of making it more like that. This is cool and a good change. And he also talked about maybe having some kind of appearance changes, just like in Legion, how you could unlock the different appearances on your weapon. Doing certain things with your necklace could unlock certain things as well. And then the last one I even thought was worthy to put on here, even though there's quite a few more questions after this, was thoughts on the global cooldown change. This is something they're going to keep asking about probably. They agree that they went too far, and they just can continue to rein it in more and more. Many movement abilities are off of the GCD now, for example. The big thing that they're going to keep on the GCD, guys, is they're going to keep your cooldowns on the GCD. I know people don't want that, but they want to keep the cooldowns in the GCD, so you don't just have everything macroed all together and then you just start spamming your buttons. That's all it is. Just get over it. It is the way it is. You might not feel good for some people, but it is what it is. It's the actual style of the game. It's the way it should have been. They should have never changed it to begin with. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for this Q&A review here. Please subscribe if you enjoy the channel, if you learn anything, or if you ever have been helped by one of my videos whatsoever, because that helps me out the most right now. And other than that, everybody have a good one.